Hey, yo, what's going on YouTube? This is Lousy TCG back again with another Union Arena video. This time we're going to be looking at a website that I love called ExBurst.dev. It is a deck building hosting website where you can publish public deck lists as well as look at other people's deck lists, see Content Creator Hub, as well as any of the tournaments that have been posted and shared to this website. It's a fantastic site, great resource, and I hope you look forward to looking around with me. If you come over here to public deck lists, you see there's a whole host of different series. I usually like to sort by most viewed. That way you can kind of see what are other people looking at. They have all sorts of other filters if you would like to look at that. If you would like to check out each individual set that they cover. For an example, let's go with Code Geass, and it will show us the most popular Code Geass deck profiles. And yeah, so from there you can also check out each individual set and look at their card list. So an example would be Bleach. If I wanted to look at all the cards in Bleach, I can kind of scroll down and check out all the cards, and they give you a good detail look at each individual card, so you don't actually have to click on them and go look at them, but if you want to, you just click on each individual card. The great thing about this site is that they have a rating of the card system, so if you want to rate certain cards, that's something that you can do, and it kind of shows you how many users have rated that card, so you get an idea of what cards are good and what cards are bad. Another thing, your own decks. If you want to host your own decks, you can. Let's go into the Ashford Rush deck that I have, just as an example. So right now, this is my current deck. What I like to do when I first come into this is I like to order by cost. It just makes things so much easier for me to see. So here we have our level 0s. Here we have our level 1s, our 2s, our 3s, and our 4 energy costs, as well as our events and our site. So I'm actually going to go over this deck real quick, just so you have an idea of how to use this site and how we're going to cover it here in the future when we do deck profiles. So the first card for Ashford Rush, we have Callan. The reason why she's included as a 0 cost is mostly because of the active trigger. Gives us some defense on our turn because this deck doesn't have very high DP numbers, so having that active trigger is very good for us to help on the defensive side when we're taking hits. Another card is Suzaku, 0 cost. That's one of our raid targets for our 4 cost Suzaku, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, auto include every single time. 0 cost CC, she's a very good card because when you play her, you draw a card, you get to place one from your hand into your sideline. It's just some filtering for the deck. Allows you to get that cycling going so you can find the pieces that you need, find those Suzakus, those Nunnallys that you need, and then get rid of cards that you might not need, especially in the mid to late game. Another 0 cost that we included is just 2 of, is Arthur, just for the Nullify Impact, another defensive card. And he also is able to swing for 3k with Nunnally later. So just another 0 cost, and it does help for those last second impact hits for game. So yeah, Arthur is a 2 of. Next we have Millie. When played, choose up to 1 character on your field. It gains 1,000, so this is good for your lower cost BP units. This is able to help get over some of those 3k bodies, some of those 4k bodies as well. If you have a Suzaku or a Callan on board and you really need to get over one of those 4ks, just play this card, give your Suzaku or your Callan a buff, and then you should be able to get over a lot of those 4ks. This also can help your 2ks get over 3ks, or those 35ks with the 3ks getting them up to 4. Next we have the other 1 cost Millie. This card's just really good because this deck is all about swinging, especially very, very early. You want to chip and do as much damage as early as possible, so having the Millie as a 1 cost Same BP, 2000, but this time when attacking, draw a card, then place one card from your hand into your sideline. Again, another card just like CC, more cycling, helps you find those pieces that you need. Good consistent drawing is always needed in a deck, and since you're already swinging with your low bodies anyways, that's why I decided to include her. Next, we have Nunnally. This is just our two energy generation. This is just really good to help put 2 of these in the back with the Nunnally, and you're able to play any card in this deck that you need. Yeah, she's just good there for the energy generation, and if you need in a pinch, you can move her up and swing 25k. Next, we have Sayoko. Just a step character, another great active trigger as well. She does switch somebody to active on that on the opponent's turn. Again, another defensive card. You need those active triggers. We like those. So Sayoko is a 3-drop here for us. The step is great because if you want to move back and protect yourself, you can. And she is 3k, so she for 2 costs is able to get over a lot of those early 2000 2500 BP characters. So yeah, 3 of. Next we have Suzaku, another raid target for our raid Suzaku. When played, you can play up to 1 red card with 2 or less required energy and 1 AP cost from your hand set to resting. This card is fantastic. Gets bodies on the board as quick as possible, helps set up for your later rush plays with the Ashford Academy, which we'll talk about here shortly, and it is your 4 of color trigger. Unfortunately, red doesn't have the greatest color trigger. It's really only good in the very beginning of the game, or you can also snipe some impact nullifiers. But yeah, red really got the shaft when it comes to the color triggers, but you know, it is what it is. Choose 1 character with 2500 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Again, this piece just helps get as many bodies on the board as possible, even though they come out resting. The Ashford Academy card is going to help us with that. Alright, next, bread and butter of the deck. Nunnally, 3 energy. I mean, she's a fantastic card for this deck. Activate main, switch to resting, choose 1 character with 3000 or less BP on your field. It gains 1000 plus impact. So getting any of your small guys up to 4,000 BP, then giving it impact to finish and close out games. It's fantastic. It's another defensive piece too because it's an active trigger. So again, when they swing, they activate the trigger. You're restanding and you're getting some more defensive pressure on your field, especially with how little BP our guys have. It's a must. So typically you want to play this in the back line. You can play it in the front line, but unfortunately she can't choose herself. So mostly a backline unit. Once you get 2 of her set up, I mean, the game is over. You're swinging 2 impact, and you want to be really, really fast with this deck. So I love that she's a 3 energy cost because you can get her out very quickly and very efficiently. Next we have Callan. Some people think that Nunnally can be used with this card, and you actually can't, because it says when attacking, this character gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn. Sorry, not Nunnally, but with your Suzakus. So when Callan attacks, she gains the 1000 until the end of the turn. So she becomes a 4k for the rest of that attack phase. So if you wanted to use Suzaku to swing and activate your Ashford Academy as well, you can't use it with her because she gains that 1000 when attacking. So you're not able to combo with her, but still having a 4k attacker for only 3 costs is such a great thing for this deck. Unfortunately, again, you want to try to finish the game before you need to rely on Callan, so she's only a 2 of, because the 2 most important pieces are the Nunnally and Suzaku raid, of course. So she is a 2 of. I just don't have room for her. I want as little small guys out as possible, but she is a fantastic card and another active trigger for us. So yeah, Suzaku. The great thing about Suzaku Raid, he already has impact, and then when attacking once per turn, you can choose up to one other character with 3,000 or less on your field and switch to active. So like I said about Kallen, once she swings, she's now a 4K body permanently until the end of your turn. So even though she starts out as 3K, you cannot switch her to active on your turn unless you are able to get her out and switch it to resting and get her. If you can't have Ashford Academy out, you don't have that out, and you have to hard play her. Perfect, because then when you attack with Suzaku Raid, you get to unrest Kallen, and then she's attacking. It's good for when you need to just hard play, get out, and you don't have the Ashford Academy. You can hard play her on the front line, attack with Suzaku, unsuspend her, and then now she's swinging, of course, for 4K. So unfortunately, again, I see a lot of people get this wrong. They think that she works perfectly with the Suzaku, and that's just not the case. You can use it as utility when you need to hard play her, but again, once she's already attacking, she's 4K. Next, bread and butter of the deck is Ashford Academy. When you play the site, you set it to active, so right away you get to use it. Activate main, switch to resting. So you are suspending this card as soon as you want to choose one character on your field with 3K or less, and it also has to have the Ashford Academy. As far as I'm aware, every single card has Ashford Academy. Yep. So again, everything in this deck other than Suzaku is getting immediately switched to active as soon as you play it. Again, this is a rush deck. You want to start swinging, chipping away as quickly as possible. So this card is a fantastic card. Generally, if you can even get 2 Ashford Academies out and 2 Nunnallys out, you have your 4. Now you're able to raid into your Suzakus. I mean, that's the perfect combo, having 2 of her and 2 of the Ashford Academies. You're just filling up your front line. Attack, 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 no breaks. President orders, great. You get to continue your turns. It's great to have an extra AP on your turn. It allows you to get more bodies out. And then House of Horror, the only removal that we have in the deck. You just choose one character with 3K or less and sideline it if they have 4 or less life, which is very easy in this deck because you are rushing and you're attacking so often. It's not a very hard threshold to hit, so if your opponent has 4 or less life, 5,000 or less BP instead. So yeah, this is an example of a deck here on ExBurst, and I hope you guys found this very informative. Again, I hope you check out exburst.dev. It's a fantastic website that I use very often. Next, so we have the Content Hub. This is just where all the content creators can post their videos and showcase all the resources there are. Please check them out. We have fantastic community here, and yeah, they have great content, great resources for you to use, as well as ExBurst has a Discord, which I will leave linked down in the description below, as well as the exburst.dev website. I will leave that in the description as well. And yeah, I do know that this is a one-team dev as far as I'm aware. Trakon is the creator of exburst.dev. And it's just a fantastic website. I love it. It's a great resource. I use it every day to create deck lists, deck profiles, and import those to Tabletop Sim, get artwork, anything like that. It's a fantastic resource, and I hope you guys will start using it as well. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day. See ya.